Okay, so diving a little deeper into confidence intervals, this time we need to use the computer. This will work on your phone, but it is more difficult. So, in case you don't have it, I'm just going to show you. So, first things first, here is our page. This is our population stretching all the way here. And here is our sampling distribution, and we expect much less variability in our sampling distribution. So I'm going to hit the sample button like it tells me to. So it's now chosen a simple random sample and is displaying our resulting confidence interval. So here is our confidence interval. It's this horizontal line. The dot represents the sample mean, and the green line represents the true mean. So all these dots are my sample. So the question that it asked me is, does the first confidence interval capture the true mean? Well, yes, it did. And I'm going to repeat it 10 times. Okay, so we got a yes, another yes, another yes, another yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Let's get this specific up now. Okay, so repeat this 10 times and sketch what you see, okay? How many of the intervals captured the true mean? 10 out of 10. And so what I saw was, here's my population, here was my sample, here was my true mean, and then each one of those, oops, okay, let's see here, I got one that was a little bit to this side. And now I'm just going to draw, and you don't need to hear me draw. Okay, so here's what we saw. I'm going to hit reset, and now I'm going to take a total of 100 confidence intervals. Okay, so there's that. And it says that 96 out of 100 had the true mean inside our confidence interval. So you can see here's what it looks like when one doesn't. So back to here. I'm going to say 96 out of 100 captured the true mean. This is not surprising because my confidence was 95% confident and 96% captured the true mean. So because I had a 95% confidence and 96% captured the true mean. Okay, back to the intervals. So now we are watching our intervals as we drag the confidence level from 95% to 99%. So I'm going to drag 899. Okay, now I am seeing that red one disappeared. So look, there, as my confidence level goes down, my intervals are narrower. As my confidence level goes up, my intervals are wider. There's 99. So, back in my duct tape pouch. As I increase my confidence level, my interval gets wider, interval gets wider, so we are more sure we capture the true mean. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing at an 80% confidence level. So we're going to hit reset. Going to go down to 80. And now 80 out of 100 hit. So this time, 80 out of 100 intervals captured our true mean. Okay, now we're going to interpret that confidence level. And I'm going to say if we made many 80% confidence intervals, many confidence intervals from many samples, we expect 80% of them to capture the true mean. Okay, now we're going to adjust the sample size. Change the sample size from 5 to 50 and sample from one interval. Well, I guess from 20 to 50. Okay. And we're going to sample for one interval. Okay. Our interval is much, I guess I can make it not 80 anymore. I'm going to put it up at 90. Okay. Our sample is much larger. We see more dots there. Now we're going to change it to 250. Do it again. Now look at how small our interval is because we had so many samples. So, back to the lesson. As sample size, and again we call that n, increases, interval width decreases. And I think this is because as the sample size goes up, we expect less variability. So our smaller standard deviation means that we are more sure of our interval, because a larger sample size decreases variability, and that is measured with our standard deviation. Okay, and then what do we do next? Our important ideas. So our first important idea is our interpreting a confidence level. I'm going to give you another sentence starter for this. Let's use the same one that we had. Let's say, if we make many percent confidence intervals, we expect about that same percent to capture T-U-R-E, the true parameter. Okay, our next big idea is what affects our margin of error. We increase our confidence interval, or I'm sorry, our confidence level. That means that we increase our margin of error. Interval widens. If we increase our sample size, we decrease our margin of error. Our interval narrows. Not marrows, narrows. Okay. And then lastly, we need to know that our margin of error does not account for bias. So if we have a failure in our sampling, margin of error is not going to help us. And that is lesson 8.1.2.